Look, the dynamic duo.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dynamic Duo. I'm Franz.
I'm Kevin. The Batcave and the Ventus Tower are open once again to communicate with you against anybody bad.
I love that introduction, man. I love that. It's just masterful stuff. Listen, Kevin, we have lots and lots to talk about. The next conversation is Agatha All Along. How many episodes did you get to watch? I watched one episode, and what did you think?
I actually managed to watch the first two.
Okay.
And I have to say this about Agatha. Although I did not hate WandaVision, I wasn't all that jazzed by WandaVision at the same time. But I have to admit to you, Agatha, and I did not think this idea, this series, was going to stand and work on its own. If the audience goes back and looks at our original review when this idea was placed on Marvel and Disney's platform about a year ago, I flat out said that I didn't think it was going to work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I need to turn in my bat belt and batarang, because I must admit, I am surprised by Agatha. It held my attention for the first two episodes. I plan to watch the third episode later today or later before the weekend is out. I liked it. It's enough of a strange horror fantasy mix that it held my attention.
I'm gonna have to once again agree with you. It's fascinating. I'm gonna have to once again agree with you. Now, I'm gonna say that I hate WandaVision. I think WandaVision started off relatively strong, and we were wondering where it was gonna go. And I think where it went was extremely disappointing to me for several reasons. One of the interesting thing about WandaVision that I hated was I forget the young actress, the actress's name that plays Agatha. I thought her presentation was weak. It was comedic. It was, and her and other people's performance was less than the quality of the show. And I hated the direction of making fun of the actual superheroes and their costumes. And then I just didn't like Agatha Harden, WandaVision. I thought it was a total failure, and I think it could have been a much better show. Um, it, so looking at the performances of Agatha and the young actress that played Agatha, like you, I didn't think that this was something worth doing for several reasons. First of all, Agatha, like really, we're gonna make a show about Agatha Harkness. She is, sometimes I say, tertiary type level character, fourth tier, fifth tier level character. Well, she's about an 11 level character. She's literally at the bottom rung of where characters could be listed. She's that minor of a character. She exists. She definitely exists. And if you know the Fantastic Four, you'll know Agatha Harkness. But for crying out loud, no, you know what I mean? So I think it's a mistake for Kevin Feige to tap into characters that don't draw people in. I think it's a mistake. Now, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. But I think it's better to do characters that have proven to have some sort of appeal. That way you sort of reverse. I think part of the reasons why Marvel has been in trouble in addition to what people are saying, I think part of the reason is because the characters have not been the top level characters that people are interested in. There's a reason why U.S. Agent was never a top seller. It's because U.S. Agent is not Captain America, and vice versa, and vice versa. Same thing for Captain Marvel and all the third tier characters that they're making movies and shows out of right now. She-Hulk was never a top-selling comic book. I love the character, but she was just never that character. So I think it's a mistake to start and make shows about characters like Agatha Harkness, especially when your company's in trouble and people are rejecting it. All right, I say that. I think it's a mistake to have done Agatha Harkness also because the performance in WandaVision was so weak. It was comedic, it was silly, it wasn't captivating. That's another level of a mistake. I think it's a mistake because not only is it a third tier character, not only was the performance weak, but it had nothing to do with the actual Agatha Harkness. The character is completely, utterly, absolutely different from the character in the comic book. So, like, say, it's like the Penguin situation. It's like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this? Agatha Harkness, you don't even respect the character, so you're making a show of Agatha Harkness. Now, having said all those reasons as to why this thing, I didn't think it was a good idea, I will agree with you that I was pleasantly surprised. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. The first thing is I'm forgetting the young lady's name, and forgive me, and I'll make a note. Do you remember it? The actress.
Yes. Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn. Yes, correct. Catherine Hahn. Her performance was much, much, much better. She was acting, and she was real. She wasn't the silly sort of weird thing that they did in WandaVision. And it was so that was I was looking for that, and it was grounded and it was real and it was interesting and it was compelling. The storytelling was good, the cinematography, the directing, the acting, all of it was good. Very much, I must say, very much like the Penguin. Very, in the sense that it has nothing to do with anything comic book related. Absolutely nothing to do with anything comic book related. But it was good. It was good. It was compelling. It was interesting. It was, well performed. I only saw the first episode. I haven't seen the second episode yet. So I'm going to try to watch that as soon as I can. But again, it's the kind of thing that, to be honest with you, I can take or leave. That's not a slight on the show. There are a lot of high quality shows out there that I'm not watching because I don't have the time, because of a whole host of reasons that have nothing to do with whether or not the show is good or bad. But to draw my attention and to keep my attention, given that there's a plethora of really good quality stuff, you have to take the extra mile. And I do feel that, just like the Penguin, they're sort of cheating a little bit by it's kind of like a bait and switch. It's like, oh, Agatha Harkness, the Penguin, watch it because you're into superheroes, you're into Batman. And then when you land, it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the character. Having said that, I am grateful and thankful that at least you're creating a excuse me. At least you're creating a quality material. It's a good show. It's a well done show. And I wonder, and I'm going to ask you, do you think that's indicative? Because here's what's interesting. The trailers for Agatha Harkness, and I don't know if you agree with me, but the trailers for Agatha Harkness leaned into the sort of WandaVision cutesy comedic presentation as opposed to what it actually is. The trailers and ads for it turned me off because I thought I'm just getting more of the same thing. I'm not watching that crap. Turns out it's not as crappy, at least the first couple of episodes, as it was portrayed to be. So yeah, I had a question for you, but it escapes my mind. But yeah, that's what I thought of it. That's what I thought of it.
I have to admit, I'm looking forward to the rest of it. And if there is excuse me, possibility of bringing Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch back, at least from what I've seen already, this would be the perfect way to do it.
I agree with you, but let me ask you this. My opinion of it is that, bro, like, can we move on from Scarlet Witch already? Like, I don't get it. Like, when did Scarlet Witch become such a major staple in the Marvel universe that she has to be brought back over and over and over again? I'm ready, and I'm not against her not coming back. Maybe it's because of Elizabeth Olsen that they're bringing her back, but I'm ready to move on from WandaVision. I mean, from Wanda, Scarlet Witch.
Partner, you just answered your own question. Somehow, Elizabeth Olsen took the character of the Scarlet Witch, even going back to the Avengers material, and she put a stamp on Wanda that made her own, and she made the character a lot stronger and a lot more engaging than generally what we see even in the comics or most of them. And Marvel has been trying desperately, people, to have her come back. She has said she would only come back if they really did something that she felt was spectacular. Otherwise, no. But I'm really hoping that by the last episode of this, that we see Wanda somewhere.
Oh, so you would
I'm
want one.
I'm hoping she comes back somehow.
Interesting. For me, I don't have that hope. I think I'm ready to move on from Wanda, and I don't think she's that compelling of a character. I don't think
Right.
that. Yeah, but that that's fine. I think I think we could move on from it.